That's Brian here with Sidestep Boxing with Noemi Bosques. 10-5, getting ready for her fight on April 16th. Talk to us about training camp. How's it been going?
Training camp is always a living hell, but I love it. I think I'm addicted to it, and that's why I just can't stop. We've been out here training at Winter Haven Boxing Gym with Tony Morgan. I've been getting lots of sparring with Christina Swanson, and believe it or not, Jenna Shiver, who's been working out. So great camp.
All right, so let's go back a little bit. Looks like you had 2 fights with Heather Hardy. The second fight was in a higher weight class, much higher than you usually fight in. What was the determining factor in you taking that fight again?
Well, actually, both of them were at the same weight, 123 pounds, and you know, it was worth the challenge. She's a big superstar up there in Brooklyn, New York. She signed with Lou DiBella. She has, I mean, a huge following. So when the opportunity came up, weight just wasn't an issue. I was ready to take it, and even though I got the loss, I'm happy I went and faced her.
Okay, is there anything that you took away from that fight?
Oh yeah, every fight. Every fight we go into, there's something, well, there's a lot that you can take away, especially in losses. I learned most from the losses. So, I mean, every fight, whether it's a win or loss, we're getting better and stronger. Those world titles are closer every time. So, we're ready.
Talk to us about your fight in Mexico for the WBC belt. You know, how did that go?
Well, that was another fight that we took that was a serious challenge. Anybody who knows anything about women boxing knows that Mariana Juarez is a Hall of Famer. She's been fighting for over 12 years. She's got over 50 fights, several WBC titles under her belt, TV, main event, every time she fights. So same thing, she was out of my, I had 14 fights, 15 fights when I went over there. She had over 50. Most say I shouldn't have taken it, but we don't turn down good opportunities like that. Women's boxing is more than just reaching several WBC titles and remaining with undefeated record. I mean, it's a bunch of opportunities that you got to jump on. 15 fights, 5 fights, 50 fights, it doesn't matter. So it was a tough fight. She's very experienced, and we took a loss. It was just points, but great fight.
All right, so we know that the Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry is big.
Oh yeah.
And you went into the lines then into Mexico. How were the fans there towards you? Were they receptive towards you, or
you know,
how was it?
I'm sorry. Surprisingly, they actually treated me really good. Mexican fans are serious, die-hard boxing fans over there, especially for women's boxing. I mean, I've never been anywhere where women were treated with such respect and so much love from regular fans. I would have thought, because I'm Puerto Rican going into the heart of Mexico, that we were going to get a lot of trouble, but they took me in. They showed me a lot of love. Made a lot of new friends, fans out there, and I mean, it was awesome.
All right, so your next opponent is Michelle Preston?
Yes.
What do you know about her?
Michelle Preston has a 7-7 record. She's like me. She's gone up against some of the best in the world from early in her career. She's gone up against Susie Ramadan. She's gone up against really good fighters. So she's the type of person who you don't want to let the record deceive you too much. She's coming in there to fight. She's not scared of the challenge. She's busy with the kickboxing, so she's in great shape. You know, she's got a 50-50 record, but we're expecting a war from Michelle Preston.
All right, now looks like you've been working with Tony for the past 3 or 4 fights. Is that correct?
Yes.
How has the relationship been between you guys? I mean, was there like instant connection from your first fight, or did it take a couple fights to get used to his work ethic?
It's a little bit of everything. We're still, I mean, we're finally starting to kind of adapt to each other. He's very strong. He's opinionated. He's a pain in the butt, you know. But after a decent amount of training with him, I'm kind of starting to finally see everything that he has been saying is right. It's working finally, you know. It hasn't been evident in all my fights yet, but the more time I spend with him, the more I'm growing, the harder I'm punching. So actually this fight in New Zealand is going to be, in my opinion, is going to be a showcase of everything that we've been working on in a year. These other fights have just been practices, but this fight I feel greater than ever. I still have 3 weeks of getting ready. And you know, I trust him. I can't say that about very many boxers or boxing coaches everywhere else, but I trust him. So.
I mean, I know that we noticed your last fight, the a la carte, your punches were harder, and it looked like you were moving a lot better. You're putting your punches together a lot better. So I mean, seeing the work that you guys did today, I can see why that's coming out.
Yeah, it's taking time because, you know, it's little steps. Like a lot of people were saying that fight at the a la carte pavilion, I looked flat-footed, but we were working on my power, and Amarilis was the perfect opponent to practice that with because I could showcase that a lot better. So now that we're adding the boxing back in along with the power punches, I can see where he's turning me into more of a complete fighter. It's not just boxing or just punching. You know, he's teaching me a lot.
And like you said, you took a couple tough losses, recently. Has quitting ever or retiring ever crossed your mind?
You know, sometimes just because I balance so much. I mean, I'm a single mother. I help take care of my grandmother. I still have to work. Sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming, especially with the losses, because you're wondering, well, why am I still doing this? But it usually only lasts like a day or 2 days, and then you get in there and spar and remember why you're doing everything, or the little kid that you inspire along the way comes and gives you a hug, and you remember why you're doing it. So yeah, from time to time, the human nature wants to just relax and watch TV all day and eat junk food, but you know, I have that instinct inside me where I can't stay away longer than 2 days. I'm itching already for it, you know? Okay,
and boxing, women's boxing isn't as big here, or I mean, what it seems like, what can you say to women out there that are trying to get into a career, whether it's, MMA or something else in the workforce that is predominantly, a man thing? What can you say to them, about being successful in that?
I think what moves us forward, whether you have a great record or a mediocre record, is the entertaining factor. I think a lot of us as fighters sometimes forget, not that we forget, fighting and survival skills is so built in us as being most important that that's all we know. And in reality, even though we're fighting all the time and we have to win and our life revolves around this, we're just entertainers to everybody else. That's all we are. Pro wrestlers, entertainers, but we fight for real. We knock each other out for real. So, I mean, what's worked for me is I'm out there with the media. I'm talking to media. I'm inviting people to my fights, because the more attraction that you're creating among the regular people, the more promoters are going to want you on their show, whether you have a great record or an okay record. You have to be an entertainer. Find out what it is that you are, or what you do, or what you're known for, and really emphasize that and make a character and go out there and kick some butt.
All right, is there anything you want to say to your fans?
Thanks for your support. I'm working hard. Follow me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Make sure you're following the movement. Hopefully I'll be fighting in Tampa sometime at the end of the summer. Just follow me. I'll put you all up on it. Also, shout out to Ted's Auto Repair Service in Auburndale. Shout out to Law Office of Bird and Gonzalez in Tampa. I appreciate you guys. Logic and Tia's Family Restaurant. I couldn't do it without you guys.
All right, this is Brian with Sidestep Boxing and Noemi Bosques. Good luck in your next fight. We out.